Japanese researchers are developing an oral drug that could fundamentally change how osteoporosis is treated. Treatment in the coming years can soon change from slowing bone loss to actively rebuilding bone tissue. The findings are linked to ongoing research efforts reported from Osaka Metropolitan University and related scientific coverage.
And British screenwriter Sil and former Prime Minister Imran Khan's ex-wife Jemima Goldsmith is set to remarry following a year-long relationship with an Irish billionaire businessman. British media outlets reported that Goldsmith is in a relationship with Dublin-born financier Cameron O'Reilly, and the couple is believed to be engaged after dating for 12 months. And Lahore Traffic Police have finalised traffic arrangements for the Pakistan Super League PSL 11 final at Gaddafi Stadium, while authorities have also put strict security measures in place for players and officials. The PSL 11 final will be played today in Lahore between Peshawar Zalmi and Hyderabad Kingsmen.
Two senior US Republican lawmakers have criticized a decision by the Pentagon to cut 5,000 US troops stationed in Germany, saying it risked undermining deterrence and would send the wrong signal to Russia. Roger Wicker and Mike Rogers, who chair the Senate and House Armed Services Committees respectively, said that rather than being withdrawn, those troops should be moved further east.
Israel's military has issued new displacement orders to residents in towns and villages in southern Lebanon, including areas beyond its current zone of occupation, despite a truce meant to halt fighting with the armed group Hezbollah. For your safety, you must evacuate your homes immediately and move away from the villages and towns by at least 1,000 meters. 6 miles into open areas, the Israeli military's Arabic language spokesman Avichai Adrei posted on X on Sunday. The United States has approved more than $8.6 billion in arms sales to its key Middle Eastern allies after secretly bypassing Congress, just a few days after Iran shared its proposal to end the war with Pakistani mediators. According to Al Jazeera, the approvals were issued by the U.S. State Department under the Trump administration, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio invoking emergency authority to bypass the usual congressional review process required for major foreign weapons deals.
And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will visit Rome and the Vatican this week. An Italian government source said on Sunday, just weeks after a clash between Donald Trump and Pope Leo, Rubio, who is a Catholic, is expected to meet Vatican Secretary of State Pietro Parolin and Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani, the source told AFP.
Lucky Marwa, a police official, was martyred in a gun attack in the Kaichi Kamar area of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Lucky Marwat district on Sunday. Lucky Marwat District Police Officers DPO spokesman Qudratullah Khan confirmed that terrorists targeted Constable Irfanullah near his house in the Trans River belt known as Kurrampar area. Cities heat up faster than surrounding areas because of how they're built. Urban areas can be up to 5.6 degrees Celsius warmer than nearby regions because of roads, concrete surfaces, and dense construction that absorb heat during the day and release it slowly at night, preventing cities from cooling down. This is known as the urban heat island effect.
And relatives of jailed Iranian human rights campaigner Nargiz Mohammadi and the Nobel Peace Prize Committee have called for her to be transferred to adequate medical facilities following a sharp reported deterioration of her health. On Friday, her family said the 54-year-old had been taken from her prison in northwest Iran to a local hospital, calling the move a last-minute action that may come too late. And China has announced an injunction to block US sanctions placed on 5 Chinese refiners accused of buying oil from Iran. The US sanctions announced by the Department of the Treasury late last month bar the refiners from the US financial system and seek to penalize anyone doing business with the firms. And United States President Donald Trump says he will review the latest Iranian proposal to end the war, but has expressed doubt that the new plan will lead to a deal as the two sides have escalated their rhetoric. And Tehran has sent a 14-point plan to Washington calling for guarantees of non-aggression, sanctions relief, the lifting of a naval blockade and an end to the war on all fronts, including in Lebanon. And this proposal seeks to postpone nuclear talks to a later stage, an issue Trump has considered a red line.
Police in Australia's Northern Territory say they have charged a man with murder in the killing of an Indigenous girl days after the 5-year-old's death sparked protests in an outback town. Jefferson Lewis, 47, was also charged with 2 other offences that cannot be publicly disclosed for legal reasons over the killing of Kumanjayi little baby. The name by which the victim is known in lines with Indigenous custom, police said in a statement on Sunday. Japanese boxer Naoya Inoue has retained his undisputed super bantamweight world title with a unanimous decision victory over compatriot Junto Nakatani after a gripping 12-round contest in Tokyo. Inoue said he was relieved to beat Nakatani and stay unbeaten in front of 55,000 fans at a sold-out Tokyo Dome on Saturday. A man has been arrested in Austria over the discovery of rat poison in a popular brand of baby food, according to police. The arrest comes after the Swiss company Hype last month issued a partial recall of its products after authorities found rat poison and an unspecified toxic additive in jars of baby food sold in Austria, the Czech Republic and Slovakia.
And cats are experiencing a big increase in lifespan, with modern research showing that domestic felines are now living far longer than in previous decades. In the 1980s, the average house cat typically lived around 7 years. Today, many cats regularly reach 15 years of age, and a growing number live well into their 20s.
President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Sunday expressed the government's resolve to protect press freedom and stressed the importance of credible journalism. They issued separate messages on the occasion of World Press Freedom Day, reaffirming that Pakistan, as a state, remained firmly committed to safeguarding and promoting freedom of the press. Karachi. The year 2026 is crucial for Pakistan hockey that has endured many crises on and off the field for ages. After a gap of 8 years, the national team finally made it to this year's World Cup by reaching the final of a qualifying event in Ismailia, Egypt, during March. Following the World Cup, Pakistan are set to lock horns with their continental rivals in the Asian Games, scheduled to be staged in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan during September-October. Renowned mountaineer Sajid Ali Sadpara summited the world's 5th highest peak, Mount Makalu, 8,485 in Nepal, without supplementary oxygen. The expedition's organisers said on Sunday Sadpara is on a mission to summit all 14 8,000ers in the world without supplemental oxygen, and this marks his 10th summit of that mission. Championship-leading teenager Kimi Antonelli has claimed pole position for the Miami Grand Prix as the race's start time was brought forward by 3 hours due to an expected heavy rainstorm. The 19-year-old Italian, the youngest title race leader in Formula One history, resisted a late charge by 4-time champion Max Verstappen in a tense qualifying session on Saturday.
Mukalla, Yemen. At the Mukalla Creative Hub, a man in a black t-shirt leans over a desk to help a colleague with his project, while other men remain fixed on their laptop screens. Nearby, women sit in ergonomic office chairs, writing or scrolling on their phones. On the other side of the space in Yemen's coastal city of Mukalla, a sleek cafe-style counter stands at the entrance, while colourful armchairs are neatly arranged and occupied by a few people working among rows of computers. What draws entrepreneurs, remote freelancers, and students here is not just the stylish setting or uninterrupted electricity, but something far more essential: fast, reliable Starlink satellite internet. Joel Embiid had 34 points, 12 rebounds and 6 assists, and Tyrese Maxey added 30 points and 11 rebounds to lead the Philadelphia 76ers to a 109-100 victory over the host Boston Celtics in Game 7 of their Eastern Conference first-round playoff series. The 76ers won the final 3 games in the series on Saturday after losing the first, third and fourth games.
And Taiwan. President William Lai Ching-te says government will never give up on engaging with the world as he visited Eswatini, despite China's efforts to block the trip. Lai arrived in Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland, on Saturday after meticulous arrangements made by our diplomatic and national security teams. He said in a Facebook post, although it is unclear how he arrived in the kingdom.
Wildfires that scorched forests in northern Japan, reportedly the second biggest in over 30 years, have been brought under control after 11 days. Officials have said hundreds of firefighters and more than 1,000 military personnel had battled the blazes since late April as they burned around 1,600 hectares, 4,000 acres, across the mountainous Iwate region. Brazilian welterweight Carlos Prates dominated hometown fighter Jack Della Maddalena to win their main event clash at UFC Fight Night in Perth, Australia. Prates dropped the Aussie to the canvas with a chopping calf kick late in the second round and knocked him down 3 more times in the third with a big knee, a head kick and a leg kick before the referee stopped the fight on Saturday.
And Chinese scientists have developed a new generation of low-cost energy storage technology using iron-based chemistry that could significantly reshape large-scale renewable power systems. Researchers at the Institute of Metal Research under the Chinese Academy of Sciences have engineered an advanced all-iron flow battery that completed more than 6,000 charge-discharge cycles and is equivalent to over 16 years of daily grid operation.
The West's legacy media and cultural products might be suffering from what is often called institutional inertia. Recently, they have been using old conceptual understandings of a world that is fast being changed by new realities. According to the American sociologist William F. Ogburn, this condition occurs when mental models fail to adjust to rapid shifts in the material and geopolitical reality. In the context of the 21st century, this inertia is particularly visible in Western media's refusal to acknowledge the erosion of long-standing hegemonic narratives, especially those concerning American power, the State of Israel, the emergence of assertive middle powers, and the reshaping of nations such as Pakistan. Warning for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander readers. This article contains references to someone who has died. Police in Australia's Northern Territory, NT, have charged a man with murder and 2 counts of sexual assault following the death of a 5-year-old girl.
A new peer-reviewed study has found that students who rely heavily on artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT, Claude and Gemini may improve short-term performance but could suffer permanent memory loss and poor cognitive health. The research by Social Sciences and Humanities Open examined how unrestricted access to AI assistance affects learning outcomes among university students.
When the sun sets over the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore on Sunday evening, the lovers of Pakistan cricket will celebrate. They will rejoice, regardless of who takes the HBL Pakistan Super League Season 11 trophy. It will be festive even before the first ball is bowled.